There's like a little ventilation thing that you can see through. You look through it and you see him walking.
This trilogy has so many different environments. We wanted them to be places that everybody is familiar with, but we turn them into something horrific.
Since The Strangers Chapter 1 came into play and into theaters, not only has it set the mood for spooky season years ago, the second installment of the Strangers franchise has come out with another bold storyline.
You're stepping into her mental state, what it would feel like to go through these events. So my job was to really navigate my character's emotional journey every day. And I think I had a notebook of notes, maybe thicker than the script. And I also had a murder board, is what I called it, of the timeline of Maya. It was important for it to feel authentic and organic, so as long as I had spent enough time while we were doing pre-production.
After learning that one of their victims, Maya, is still alive, 3 masked maniacs return to finish the job. With nowhere to run and no one to trust, Maya soon finds herself in a brutal fight for survival against psychopaths who are more than willing to kill anyone who stands in their way.
Take 2, A mark.
B mark visual.
We did 3 11.5-minute takes. I've never lived in a take that long before where there's no dialogue. We had this incredibly talented prosthetics team who built that wound and was pumping blood through it while I was shooting. Do you want me to show it to camera more?
Yes.
Today we're going to be going behind the curtain and sharing what it was like behind the camera filming this movie, and it was equally terrifying. We will also be giving some more information on a 3rd installment in the future.
What I try to do in the movie is through the type of shots that I chose and the lighting and creating an atmosphere where that paranoia would be there all the time.
Dr. Tate says time to wrap it up, Sheriff.
Doc knows best.
And then they attack again, and I've got to survive in a whole different way.
But before we get into more of these moments, today's trivia question: what is the character Maya's actress most known for? Leave your guesses in the comments down below and stick around till the end of the video to find out if your answer was correct.
We knew if we were successful in movie 1, which we were, we would want to go back and enhance movie 2 and 3 with our enhancement shoots, because the art is going to naturally change and evolve as you're editing.
We looked at the whole thing and said to ourselves, we need to go deeper and satisfy the fans, give them hopefully an experience where they go, okay, I understand why they did Chapter 1, but I really had a good time.
Director Rennie Harlin is on a mission to redefine modern horror with this ambitious 3-part cinematic event. Breaking away from the usual sequel formula, Harlin shot all 3 films, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and the forthcoming Chapter 3 simultaneously, crafting a continuous 4.5-hour deep dive into the mythology of the mask-wearing menaces.
So creating these scenes where Maya is in a hospital and first things seem normal and then they start getting really sick. It was very scary for me, and I had to get out of the set once in a while just to get some air because I felt so suffocated in that environment. And I want the audience to really get that in an extreme way.
Cut. Beautiful.
He was sat down during an interview to be asked some questions about what was involved with this 2nd installment.
One of my favorite sequences is this SUV that Maya ends up in, and she thinks she's going for safety and help, and then her paranoia starts taking over.
Look, Maya, I'm really worried about your stitches. If your wound opens up, you could lose a lot of blood.
She's afraid, but it turns out it's Danica, the nurse.
We shot all 3 movies together, he explains. We had a script that was 273 pages long, so we really tried to develop the character with all that in mind, so that there's a progression. It's really a matter of 4 or 5 days where all these 3 movies take place, so we have to be very particular about how the story develops and how Madeline's character develops.
Scarecrow leaves, now we come back with the goodbye to Ryan at the end.
Yeah.
We spent hours really working on the emotional arc of the character. We figured out there's something so much more here that we could create.
Movie number 2 starts with her waking up in the hospital. There's a nurse, Danica, who she feels like she can trust.
As I share my excitement for this film, I want to mention we are currently doing a giveaway. Share what you were most excited for with this project, and the best comment will win a $25 Fandango gift card where you can purchase a full movie with added bonus features. Comment down below and one winner will be chosen.
In this SUV, the tension was so high. It's such a small space, and so creating it was kind of weirdly liberating because I was forced to really go there.
Maya, meet our idiot roommate.
It's like, I don't want to breathe and I don't want to touch him because it's like I've never been this close to him before in my life. It created this really alive chemistry and relationship between the 2 of us that's so palpable on screen.
The first one is just a home invasion movie. There's these 3 strangers in your home. In this one, the strangers could be anywhere and anybody could be a stranger. So it just becomes this very scary and paranoid world where you just can't trust anybody.
So you look out, no bore, no bore, no bore, your knife by the fire. In the second movie, we are in the forest, and I love wilderness, but I wanted to turn nature, instead of a safe place of hiding, I wanted to turn it into the most threatening place.
One of the most intriguing and most challenging aspects of this trilogy is that all 3 films were shot together, essentially as one long movie.
When we first edited the scene, it was, if I remember, like about 4.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's grueling to watch. I mean, it's really grueling. So we actually ended editing it down to, I think, about just under 2 minutes, which is still extremely, rough to watch.
Petch explained how the unusual production schedule, which included filming each chapter out of order, shaped her approach to the character and gave her a rare chance to develop Maya's arc in real time.
Because we had to be a bit more resourceful, we actually did it in the real environment, in the woods.
3, 2, 1, action.
We had to build the scene in post, so you don't have the board there. You have to imagine that the board is there.
She talked about how it was being covered in blood and mud during most of this film. No one cares about what I look like in this movie, she said. They care about if I'm selling what's going on in the film, and that's really cool. It was very liberating as an artist to be looked at as that and not as something additive physically.
The wild boar scene was bigger and bigger as the new scripts were coming, and I was very excited to shoot that. This was like a big CGI scene, it was very challenging.
So it's coming through that seat where Bogdan's sitting.
Yeah, that entire seat explodes toward us.
She also mentioned how it was being that the film was very physically demanding of her as well.
Pushing me around and dragging me.
We tried to make it as physical as possible, but it was great because we also did a lot of handheld work with her.
I would bang my head on the log and I'd be like, oh my God. So it was really challenging physically.
Beautiful. Matt, are you okay? Fantastic take.
There are so many scenes where Maya is featured fleeing for her life, with homicidal psychopaths constantly on her tail. It's incredibly cardio intensive. That meant that Petch wasn't feeling any kind of guilt when she was skipping days at the gym during production.
The trilogy is a little bit of a cross between the horror genre and a thriller because there's a mystery baked into it. Who are these strangers? And so there's not just a will she survive, there's also a who's doing it, why.
The opening sequence at the beginning, we give you who Pinup Girl is.
With Madeline Petch being the only survivor of the second chapter, she seems to be the only cast member for the third chapter, at least for now.
That shot where I'm down on the ground and his snout just comes into frame and you see it twitching and you see his hair moving.
I was insistent that that shot had to be moved. You could feel the saliva and the hair moving, and it's just like terrifying.
It's an important scene for Maya because it's her first intentional kill.
Not a whole lot we can go off of right now, but we do know that they are already working on this while Chapter 2 was being filmed at the same time.
I mean, I really love the performance Emma put in as Pinup Girl.
I auditioned for Maya at first. I sent a tape and then I didn't hear anything for a while, and so I was like, okay, I guess I didn't get it. And then I got a phone call from my manager saying, we have an offer for Pinup Girl. So it was like, I didn't even read for Pinup Girl. It was like, how can they be sure that I'm right for this?
And as far as the answer to our trivia question, Madeline Petch is most known for her role in Riverdale, which ran for several years.
Shelley is head waitress. She's in charge of lots of people. She's the most mature person in the diner. And then when she's in her killer persona, she wears a baby dress and she's got these big chunky child shoes. And then what Courtney and the writers wrote in the script is that she giggles like a child. And it is this very interesting thing, in her real life, she's in charge.
But we wanted to turn this around to you guys. What do you think about all these moments? Which one was your favorite? And what are your hopes for The Strangers Chapter 3?
In movie 2, they're relentless at coming back and what I call finishing the job, right? She's the only one that survived.
In that bedroom scene, the idea is to have Maya's POV of flashing to him, to seeing him with the mask on and realizing, wait, those are the same hands that stabbed me, they're the same hands that took that tear off of my cheek.
Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on for more videos just like this. That's it for today though. We'll see you all next time with a brand new video. Bye guys.
Move.
We were in the woods in the original movie. There's this scene where Froy pops out and puts a gun to my head. And my character's not even scared, She doesn't have a human response, which is also terrifying. And she sort of dances in front of him and she grabs the gun and screams. And it's like she's enjoying the danger of it.